This is another episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Man, I have some great stand-up comedy for you this week. I'm taking audio sets from some famous and not so famous comics when they were doing TV appearances. So these guys appeared on many shows over the years, but I took what I thought were the best and put it together onto this podcast just to entertain you. So coming up later on, I think you may have heard of this guy. He was a regular at my club for over a decade. I did a couple large concerts with him. That's right, Jay Leno will be closing today's show. And then right before him, not quite as famous, but a very, very funny guy, Daily Pike. But let's kick things off with a guy that came out of New York City, part of the Funniest Men in the Universe group with Jerry Seinfeld, Larry Miller, and Paul Reiser. Very funny comic, Mark Schiff. Now, this is one of his several appearances on TV. Very funny stand-up comedy. So let's jump into it. Ladies and gentlemen, our first stand-up comedy set is by Mark Schiff.
I had some friends that just came out to visit me, and we went out for dinner. You know, there are some people that are not fun people to go out and eat with. There's a type of person, every time you go out, they want a bite of whatever you have. And they always lie. They always say the same thing, like, what is that? I never had that before. I swear to God, I never had that. What is that? A hamburger. I heard of that. Give me half of that, will you? Same type of person got a piece of pizza. They take a bite and they suck all the cheese off the thing. Or you ever get a check in a restaurant and they leave something off your check, but somebody at the table always gets really nervous? They always say something like, shut up, they left the roast beef off. Or walk out slow, keep your mouth closed. You get outside, it's like you robbed a bank. Your friend goes, come on, get in the car. Let's get out of here. Somebody twists their leg on the way out, they go without me. Or you ever go out with 8, 9, 10 people, you get that check, everybody gives the money to one person? This guy always gets screwed, right? He's 100, he's got $4 in his hand. Everybody's outside going, let's go. He's going $90 for grilled cheese. Wow. We went out for Chinese food. I love Chinese food, but I really feel that Chinese people are really discriminated against. Certain things they can't buy. Like Chinese people can't go to the stores and buy those name mugs as presents. They can't walk in and go, you have a Hing Fong Wang Chow? I just got married 10 weeks ago. Absolutely true. 10 weeks ago. And went on a honeymoon, went to Germany, and I was on the Autobahn driving. You ever been on this fastest highway in the world? No speed limit. I'm doing 130 miles an hour. There's a sign, brick wall, 10 feet ahead. I rented a German car. You have to go so fast, the stick shift said, 1, 2, 3, Yahoo! And my wife's like in really great shape and wants me to join a health club. I went and I signed up. I love these questions they ask, like, well, sir, what kind of program you on? I said, well, I want to lay in bed and eat. You got that type of program? Yeah, I want to gain a lot of weight and quit my job. You got that type of thing? And if you're married, you know this is true. I snore. And if you snore, they wake you and tell you that you snore. Like, you need this information. Honey, get up. You're snoring. What? Snoring, really? Oh, babe, I'm sorry. All I can tell you when you're drooling, all right? You know, one of the great things about being married is I don't have to break up with anybody anymore. You know, when you break up, everything reminds you of the person, the worst pain in the world. Your friends go, come on, we'll go for a walk. She walked! Why don't you get a haircut? She had hair! And you say these things when you break up. You ever say this to someone? The last thing I want to do is hurt you. Which means it's on the list. But it's the last thing I want to do. And now we're talking about having a family, which means making more money. But when you're a kid, you don't have to worry about money. They just give it to you. Like my grandparents lived with us. Grandfathers love to give you money when you're a kid. But they never hand it to you. They always slip it to you like it's illegal. As soon as everybody leaves, my grandfather's like, put this in your pocket. Keep your mouth closed. Just shut up. You don't know where you got it. It's $3. Go to college. And my grandmother lived with us. Grandmothers have the biggest underwear on the planet. And where do they get this? What, is there some company that makes grandma issue underwear? And all she did all day was soak this stuff in the bathroom sink and leave it floating for months. And it was alive, little bubbles coming up as it was. Grandma, it's breathing, get it out of there. She'd hang from the shower rod. The thing was so heavy, it would bend the shower rod. And all night trying to sleep, I hear this thing dripping like... I'm yelling, wring it out. And the strap on the bra was this big. You could pull it and shoot her across the room.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mark Schiff live on stage doing a television show back in the 80s. Very funny guy. He's still out performing today and even has his own podcast. So keep an eye out for Mark Schiff. Very good friend of mine. All right, coming up now, somebody that's not as famous, but a very funny comic. He was doing some TV back in the day, and I was able to find this old set. So let's jump into some stand-up comedy by Daily Pike.
Well, hi, folks. How are you? Pretty good. It's been a great show so far, huh? Yeah, it's very good. Huh? So, my name's Daily Pike, and it's my real name. I didn't make it up. I know. It's easy to remember. Every time you pick up a menu, fresh seafood, Daily Pike. Hey, that's not bad. I'm originally from Texas, which is the scene of the show Dallas. That's right. I like Dallas. It's a real good show. See, the only thing that bothers me about the show is, like, the names take up half the program. You know, like you have a introduction. Billy Ray, Jim, Bob, Luke. I'd like y'all to meet Biddly Whack K2. Her husband, Johnny Lee Buford, Dusty Rusty. My baby brother, Little Small Tiny Eatsy Wincy Itty Bitty Joe. And his wife, Jasmine, Honeysuckle, Cinnamon, Oregano, Ragweed. Toyota has an interesting commercial out. I don't know if you've been watching the Toyota commercial about the truck. This is a kind of truck BMW would have built if BMW built a small truck, huh? I mean, you can qualify anything. I have the build of Arnold Schwarzenegger if Arnold Schwarzenegger were built like me. So, pretty good. It's an election year. We're not the only people having an election. There's an election in Japan, and they elect a new prime minister, Prime Minister Suzuki. That's true, Prime Minister Suzuki, and he gave his acceptance speech. He said... Oh, thank you. Yeah. President Carter is trying to make his election, and he's trying to influence the Jewish vote, invited a lot of leaders to the White House, gave one of their sons kind of like a Georgia bar mitzvah. It was great, had a square dance and everything, you know. Swing your partner here and there, take your yarmulke, throw in the air. Promenade left and promenade right, we'll shalom all through the night. Don't give us Carter, don't give us Reagan, we prefer Menachem Begin. Oh, it goes. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. He has a lot of problems here at home. Of course, President Carter went and visited the volcano, Mount St. Helens. I don't know if you've been watching that. There's a whole cloud of volcanic ash going around the world. And they say if it reaches Los Angeles, it'll actually improve the air. So this is something I'm looking forward to. The draft is something that President Carter reinstated too also, and I don't know. I don't think we need the draft. My opinion is this. I figure if another country gets invaded, we should just send a whole battalion of hairy creatures to aggravate them to death, huh? Our biggest problems, though, I guess, are abroad foreign affairs, the Russians. That's right, there's Russian troops in Cuba, and there's criminals coming from Cuba. I don't know, I think we should do something with Cuba, like maybe in the middle of the night, hook up a couple of subs, tow it off to Greenland, right? Right, wake up the next day, Bantumeo, Bantu... Damn, it's cold. Iran is our biggest problem, though. I don't know. A lot of strange names in Iran. This guy Khomeini, the Prime Minister Sadegh Goat's Head Body, and that guy. The president of Iran is Bani Sadr. Have you ever seen this guy, Bani Sadr? Yeah, my question is, how can any guy who looks like Groucho Marx run a country, huh? Say the secret word, release the hostages. Well, our former Attorney General, Ramsey Clark, went to Iran. I don't know if you're watching Ramsey Clark. He's got an apartment on Hostage Drive over there, and he's taken on a new Muslim name. Tola is what he's going to be called. There's also a strange religious group in Iran called the Kurds. I don't know if you're familiar with the Kurds. Yeah, they worship cottage cheese. They're very thin. Give me some lettuce. That's all I need. It's really kind of nice. I have kind of a political song I'd like to, kind of dry this all together with. This is a song I made up called Hail to the President. When little Jimmy was a baby, sitting on Miss Lillian's knee, picked up a peanut, yeah, and a Bible in his hand, ow, and said, cause babies can't talk. Oh, thank you. I kind of like to end with an interesting thought I was thinking the other day. It's about death. There's some lighter sides to death, I guess. You know, you don't have undertakers anymore. I don't know if you knew that. They're now called another name. They're directors of subterranean affairs now. And this kind of thing. But why is it when you die and they take you to the hospital, they always say, he was pronounced dead on arrival, pronounced dead on arrival? Huh? I mean, what do they have, some kind of umpire doctors? I mean, you're dead!
That was Daily Pike on TV back in the late 80s. Very funny comic. Worked my club many, many times. You could see why. He was so funny. And coming up, the closing act for this week's show, a guy you all know about. He's been on TV for decades. And back in the 80s, he not only worked for me, I did a couple concerts with him, but he was already doing a lot of TV. This was long before The Tonight Show and other sitcoms that he appeared on. So let's jump into it. Some very early and funny stand-up comedy by the one and only Jay Leno.
Thank you very much. Very exciting to be here, very exciting. As most of you know, the new TV season starts, another 2-3 months? This is my favorite time of year to watch TV, middle of summer. Because you always turn on the TV, you see shows you never heard of. And then you look up in TV Guide, and it says, this is a pilot for a show not on the fall schedule. See, the networks are pretty smart. What they're saying to you is, hey, we know our shows are bad. We just wanted to show you how bad they could have been. You know. Some NBC favorites coming back with the A-Team coming, 5th season. You like this program? Yeah. Now, a lot of you probably don't like it for the same reason I don't like it. Boy, you missed the first 2 or 3 minutes. It's so hard to follow, huh, gee? That complicated story and that surprise ending where the car goes in the water, who would have guessed that was going to happen again this week? What's the premise of the A-Team? You have these Vietnam veterans wrongly accused of a crime hiding out from the police. Right, let's analyze the characters. Got Mr. T, the black guy, muscles, chains, big stripe down his head. Georgia Part, the white guy, silver hair, big cigar, 2 male models, a woman in a bikini. They're in a black van with a red stripe, a wing on the top. Mr. T's driving, and the cops are going, we can't find him. Yeah. Where the heck they could be, boy? You see what USA Today said about the A-Team? You ever read this, USA Today? What is this? It's like America's biggest school newspaper or something. And then I always feel like they should have a think and do page on the back of this. Now, they said the A-Team was the most violent show on TV, which is not really fair, because if you have kids, you know the most violent thing on TV is what? Cartoons! Sure. I mean, if you're a 5-year-old kid and you watch cartoons all day, and I think this is a reasonable analogy. Children think if you take a stick of dynamite, put it under a dog's tail and set it off, the dog's eyeballs will go, woo! So kids think you hit a dog with an axe, you got 2 dogs! Some dog owners here, pet owners? You like that? My wife has got a cat, and last night I bought the wrong brand of cat food, so today the kitty wouldn't eat. Let's put him in the closet for 6 weeks. I think he'll eat, huh? I'm not sure I understand the problem. See, I like dogs. I think women know why men like dogs. Men like to stand up and give lectures and give stupid orders. At least a dog will pretend to be interested in what the guy's saying. You ever see men yell at cats? Kitty, come over here. That kitty is so stupid. If I don't get in here, you know, the dog will sit there, pretend to take notes while the guy's talking. Some men will talk to dogs for hours. After college, I started my own business. I didn't wait for someone to feed me. Cats run away. My wife's cat ran away for 3 days, sends me out in the middle of the night, driving around looking for the cat, like the cat's going to stick to the main road. Well, if he's trying to get to Ventura, I think 101 is his best bet, huh? After 3 days, the cat comes la-dee-don back into the house again like an idiot. I say, where have you been? First of all, the cat's gonna lie anyway. I gotta buy Frisky's buffet. And what a moneymaker this is. I don't mind buying the Friskies. I just hate setting up that stupid buffet every night. Hot lights, a silly hat. Dog food is just as stupid. What's that? Gaines Burgers? This is dog food shaped like a burger. Why? Just save the dog the trouble of forming a little patty himself. Boy throws it on that doggy barbecue with a doggy chef. Huh? Of course, by the time we get out of here tonight, the only thing open is that Ralph's Market on Sunset. You tourists, you been down there? 24-hour supermarket? Best time to go anytime after midnight. Then it becomes like a Fellini casting call in this place. All sorts of trolls and mutants wandering through the aisles. People with no birth records of any kind. They always have some sort of druid slumped over the register there. There's always that nest of junkies festering in the cookie aisle down there. You ever sign a light down the cookie aisle at Ralph's after midnight? It's like, oh, they all scatter. All the Malamars and moon pies been broken into. So a 5-pound bag of sugar sucked dry in there one night. I mean, you... I mean, you walk down the aisle and they've got contraceptive foam on the same shelf as Cheese Whiz. What do you want, honey? You want a cookie? You want to make love? What do you feel like? Come on. How can you name something Whiz and expect people to buy it? If I pick up a product and I see Whiz on the label, I'm going to read the ingredients very carefully. Exactly how much Whiz is in this.
That was Jay Leno live on stage. Man, you know, what's so great about Jay was he was such a funny stand-up comic back in the day, ended up doing tons of TV. He's world famous now, and he's still performing. He is quite a bit older, like I am myself, and he's still out touring and doing stage shows as a stand-up comic on top of all his television work. Why? Because he loves stand-up comedy. Well, tell you what, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. We had Mark Schiff, Daily Pike, and Jay Leno. Hey, come back next week. We'll have one of our interview shows. Thanks for listening to Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.